Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Subject of my vlog today is my K-1 visa nightmare. No agency, no problem. But before I get started, let me welcome my new viewers and new subscribers. Thank you so much for your kindness, your generosity, your support of my channel. It's truly been amazing. I'll never take that for granted. I'm a 58-year-old American who grew tired of the rat race and decided to move to the Philippines in search of a new life. Well, I found that new life, and I want to share with you my boots on the ground experiences the only way I know how. It's by giving you the nitty gritty, exactly what I'm seeing, what I'm living, what I'm experiencing. I'm never going to sugarcoat that. It's not going to start today. My K-1 visa nightmare, no agency, no problem. Before I get started, let me put this out there. This is from an American viewpoint. All right. According to the CDC, 44.6% of all marriages in America end in divorce. 42 to 45% of all marriages end in divorce in the first year. They call that the adjustment phase, where couples, they don't understand each other, they fail to compromise, they're not compatible, so they take the easy way out and they file for divorce. Second marriages end in divorce 67% of the time. Third marriages end in divorce 75% of the time, and then after that, hell, you're on your own. You don't need to be marrying nobody. You might as well have a lawyer on standby and call 1-800 I'm a damn fool. That's uncharted territory, and I won't even address that. But it's a simple process, this K-1 visa. You don't need an agency. I'm gonna go on record right now and tell you, if you need to hire an agency to do your K-1 visa, as simple as it is, you have no business getting married, number one. Number two, you have no business bringing someone to your home country. It's so simple that a damn monkey could do it, literally. And that money that you're spending with these agencies, you're gonna need it later on down the line. But I got some great news for you. There's Facebook groups, K-1 visa Facebook groups, that will help you step by step. There's thousands of people in these groups. And when you join, there's gonna be somebody along that K-1 visa process at every step. They're gonna tell you what they did right, what they did wrong, what to look out for, what to do, what not to do. They're gonna share their happiness with you. They're gonna share their heartache with you, but you don't need to go out and spend all that money on an agency, no matter how much it is. Because it's really a simple process, guys. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, hey, well, I don't have time. Well, see, you're gonna have the same amount of time that you're gonna have to use to give that agency the information is the same time you're gonna use to fill out the forms on your own. And see, they take advantage of our impatience. That's what they do. That's why their services are so successful. That's why they get so much business. They'll say stuff like guaranteed results. Of course it's a guaranteed result. It's yes or no. It's as simple as that. Or faster processing time. See, that's a lie right there. It's going to take 6 to 9 months, you know, all things being equal, as long as you didn't make any mistakes and everything like that. Anyhow, okay? There's no special paperwork that immigration lawyers get. It's the same paperwork you're going to have to fill out, that I-129F form. So you don't need it. So December 2012, I apologize, I mailed our packet off, and everything went like it was supposed to. 6 months later, a little bit over 6 months later, July of 2013, she got approved. Our application was approved. But then the nightmare began. Okay, we went through everything. You take the medical, and there was a red flag right there. She ended up failing the sputum test. You know, and that sputum test is like a signal for TB, so she has to wait 6 months for that result to come back. And let me show you something real quick while I'm thinking about it. This is a volcano, ladies and gentlemen, right there. The K-1, it's in K-1, the volcano. It's amazing, isn't it? Well, anyway, our son, he passed the medical, which all the money and all the expenses that I used for my son, it was a waste because he was a U.S. citizen. He never even had to go through the process. But see, we didn't know. We had to get him a CRBA. So we joined a Facebook group, a CRBA Facebook group, and we got that taken care of. All right. So sputum test comes back negative. She's good to go. And has to take the medical again because it expired. They only give you a certain amount of time for these medicals, ladies and gentlemen. You have to know that. So she had to take the sputum test again. Sputum test comes back again positive. So she has to wait another 6 months. But at least we have the CRBA. But hell, by the time between me mailing off the packet, December 2012, to the time they finally arrived in America, June 20th, 2014, it was 22 months. And see, that's what I'm saying. When you give that agency that money, see, they can't guarantee that you're going to pass that medical. See, there's some things out of their control. They'll tell you stuff like this. This is real simple when you look back on it. Oh, don't worry about going to the post office. We'll mail your packet for you. Well, that's basically what you're paying them to do, is mail off your packet. That's all you're doing. But anyway, 22 months went by, man. I'm just a man. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm a human being. I started dating, somewhere in that process, I started dating a Cuban woman. And we got real close, see? And let me just be honest with you, because this is the nitty-gritty right here. Had I not started that paperwork, I would have just dropped it. You know, and I'm not some evil monster, man. It's a long time. And that's why my heart goes out to guys right now who are locked out of the Philippines, who have legitimate relationships with their girlfriend and with their fiancés. Maybe have a family already. I know how you feel because I went through it. There was a nightmare waiting on that stuff, man. If I could do it all over again, I would have never filled out the paperwork, guys. I had no business getting married again. Not at that time anyhow. I would have been, well, I placed myself in that second marriage category. 67% chance that I was going to get a divorce anyhow. And it proved to be right, even though we ended up being together for 8 years. Okay, is that a coincidence? I don't think so, because the average length of a marriage in America is 8.2 years. All right? So we've been separated a little bit over 2 years now. But and it was all about me. It had nothing to do with her. I just had no business getting married, man. If I could do it all over again, I would just, which I can't, obviously, I would have just worked my 4-year plan, come back and forth over here, got into a situation where I was financially stable, because I wasn't at the time, and just gave them a better life over here, because the wheels have fallen off. She's over there. Me and my son over here. She's basically abandoned my son. She's, but that's another story for another video, man. But I'm just telling you that this K-1 visa process was a nightmare. I had no business getting married. If I would have thought it all the way through, because my motivation was I didn't want to leave my son over here. I wouldn't have did it. I'd have just, if I was hell-bent on marrying her, I'd have just married over here. It would have been a lot more simpler. There would be no immigration proceedings. There would be no 10-year affidavit of support, which, by the way, I don't have a problem with that. I got about 2 years left on that, and she's taking advantage of that. And I don't have a problem. I paid her rent a couple of times, sent her some money a few times, but I don't have a problem with that. Any woman that's with me, I'm going to take care of. But to complicate matters now, see, she's in America, I'm over here. She won't file for divorce. I don't understand why, but she won't do it. So now when I go home, I'm going to have to do that process. Okay? I don't get it. Our son is over here, and I can just imagine what he feels like. He would be better served with me because she done got in between me and him and between me and the family. When I was 9 years old, there's no way I could have been separated with my mother. And they come up with the lamest excuses. Oh, I'm over here because I have to take care of my family over there. No, I'm sorry. But anyway, a 22-month wait. She failed the sputum test twice, put our son through all the medical and all that when he didn't have to. And let me remind you of something, guys, and you can Google this. The time that we were going through our K-1, there was an insurgency going on in her hometown of Zamboanga City. The government was fighting the rebels there. Many people, innocent people, were killed. A lot of people lost their homes. They were displaced. All this was going on during my K-1 visa process. It was a nightmare. And I didn't even need an agency for that. They would not have had nothing to do with that insurgency. Because see, my son and my wife, this was during the interview and the visa process. They were locked out of Zamboanga for a whole month. No flights in, no flights out. No boats in, no boats out. It was a nightmare, guys. And I know no matter what I suggest to you, because that's what I give as suggestions. I just share with you my boots on the ground experiences, man. This isn't something I heard. You're probably at that crossroads. You've met a girl, long distance relationship, whether you met her in person or not, you've already made up your mind that you're going to get married. So now, do I get married here or do I get married there? If you think it all the way through, you'll be able to answer that yourself. The immigration process makes that marriage really, really complicated, complicates things. And because you're marrying her and bringing her to the United States, all those statistics apply to you. And I know some of you guys are going to say, well, the divorce rate is going down in America. Yeah, that's only because these millennials are not getting married. They just opting to have a live-in partner. So it makes the divorce rates look better because they're just not getting married. But think it all the way through, man, because a sensible man is going to get married over here if he gets married at all. If I could do it all over again, which obviously I can't, I would have never got married. I'd have just stayed over here, gave them a new life, helped her to achieve all of her goals. You want to go back to school? Go back to school. You want to become a doctor? Well, be a doctor. And then, all things being equal, if after a while, we decided to get married, it probably would increase the odds of us staying together longer. But yeah, you don't need an agency for that K-1, guys, if you decide to do that. Because some of you are victims of this pandemic love. You've fallen in love. But let me remind you that the divorce rates are the same during COVID as they are pre-COVID. 44.8% marriages during COVID end in divorce. 44.6% otherwise. So take your time, man. Think this all the way through. You know, if you don't have time, you don't have the money to come here and live, then put it off, man. Go back and forth. It's just going to give you more time, both of you more time to get to know each other better, because that adjustment phase is real. It's when a lot of these couples end up being divorced, and what an adjustment you're going to have to make when you marry somebody from clear across the planet. And you don't want it to be a headache. You don't want to be a nightmare. Remember, the average marriage in America lasts about 8 years. So I know people watching, oh, it don't apply to me. Yeah, you're still in that 2, 3, 4 year bliss right now. But yeah, it applies to you. This stuff is real. But after all that I had to go through in my K-1 process, it was a nightmare, man. And if I could do it all over again, I never would have did it. If I was going to get married, I just married her here. Gave her a better life here. That way, if we were separated and had a divorce, it would have been a lot more simpler. There's no child support over here. There's no alimony or anything like that over here. Not that any man is bound to respect over here anyway. You know, I'm going to do the right thing anyhow. I was going to take care of her whether we were married or not. And then just to stick a needle in my eye, she's in my hometown, living a new life. I'm an insurance agent, guys. People know me. They see her out and about doing her thing, and I don't have a problem with that, but it just kind of complicates matters. So thank you so much for stopping by today. You know, America's getting late. I hope you help somebody before you go to bed. But if you're on one of them late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs, just getting off second shift, or you're on your lunch break, you see somebody in the street, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them a few dollars. One of my subscribers left a comment today. He said, Calvin, I was coming out of the grocery store. I saw a little old homeless lady. He said, and I bought her something to eat. He said, because I heard your voice, man. And see, that's what it's all about, guys. In the Philippines, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, Wednesday morning. We're going to have our electronic community pantry drawing later. I believe we're the only electronic community pantry in all of the Philippines. And what we do is we put all of our San Carlos City subscribers on a special wheel. We spin the wheel. The winner has their choice between rice, 25 kilo sack of rice, or 1,100 pesos worth of groceries. It's been just an unbelievable success because people need our help over here. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID free. See you next time.